The wisdom of Vedas had evolved into various systems of knowledge. Each system of knowledge is called Shastra. The sages of yore systematically organized that knowledge into granthas. Even the fine arts of India were studied systematically, and the science of arts had been developed in India. Hence, we call knowledge of dance as Natya Sastra. The knowledge of sculpture is called Shilpa Shastra. The knowledge of culinary skills is called paka or supa Shastra. The knowledge of prosody is called chanda Shastra. Let us discuss a few Sanskrit texts which reveal the knowledge of various applied sciences and arts. Akshara-Laksha. Akshara-Laksha is the first encyclopedic Shastra which goes by the name Akshara-Laksha. The authorship of this science is attributed to sage Valmiki. All kinds of mathematics, including modern geometry, algebra, trigonometry, physics or applied mathematics, mineralogy, hydels, the method of measuring air, heat and even electricity, geography are said to have been discussed. This work comprehends earlier discoveries by sage Kashyapa, Ganapati, Surya, Brihaspati, Jaimini, Hanuman and others. Shabda Shastra. The science of sound is called Shabda Shastra. Written by Kandika Rishi, it deals with sounds, echoes of moving and non-moving objects in creation. It also deals in 5 chapters with capturing or mechanically reproducing sounds, measuring their pitch and velocity. Shakuna Shastra. Sage Sakatayana is the author of Shakuna Shastra, or the science of determining the sex in animate and inanimate creation. Kanya-Lakshana Shastra. Bhabru Muni has written about Kanya-Lakshana, in which 32 marks are indicated for chastity of women. Shakuna Shastra. Sage Garga had written on Shakuna Shastra, the determination of good and bad effects from the sounds of birds, words of human beings, etc. In other words, omens. Shilpa Shastra. Shilpa Shastra is said to have been written by sage Kashyapa, and it consists of 22 chapters, 307 varieties of shilpas, including 11 types of constructions like temples, palaces, halls are detailed. Earlier writers on this subject are Vishwakarma, Maya, Maruti, Chaya Purusha. Supa Shastra. Supa Shastra deals with the science of cooking. Sukesha is the first author of this science. 108 varieties of preparations, from condiments and pickles to sweet meats, cakes, puddings, and 3032 kinds of dishes meant for people living in different parts of the world are mentioned. Sage Rishis is credited with writing Malini Shastra, which consists of flower arrangements, making garlands, bouquets, hairdos in various styles for women, writing love messages on flower petals to convey to beloved in codes. This work consists of 16 chapters. Kala Shastra. Lord Kartikeya wrote the science of Kala or time. Its time divisions into definite periods, their classification into auspicious and inauspicious movements, and the deities that preside over each are dealt in this Shastra. Samudrika Shastra. Samudra Raja, or the Lord of Ocean, is the original author of Samudrika Shastra. He noted down auspicious marks on the body of Lord Vishnu, while the later was resting on Adishesha in the ocean. Sages like Narada, Varaha, Mandavya, and Lord Kartikeya later developed this science. Palmistry belongs to this Shastra. Dhatu Shastra. Ashwini Kumaras are credited with writing the science of Dhatuwada, which in 7 chapters treats with natural as well as artificial dhatus or primary substances, their combinations and transmutations. Alchemy, or converting copper into gold, is dealt with in this work. Visha Shastra. The science of poisons, or Visha Shastra, is said to have been exhaustively written by Ashwini Kumaras. This deals with 32 kinds of poisons, their properties, preparations, effects, and antidotes. Chitrakarma Shastra. Bhima is credited to have composed the science of fine arts called Chitrakarma Shastra. It consists of 12 chapters and expounds nearly 200 kinds of drawings. There is a section in which students are taught to redraw the figure of a person after seeing a single hair or nail or bone of that person. Malla Shastra. Malla is said to have composed a comprehensive work on Malla Shastra, which deals with 82 kinds of gymnastics and sports necessary for preservation of health and athletic activities, and 24 kinds of infantry warfare where hand-to-hand combat is involved. This work consists of 3 parts. Parakaya Pravesha. The revered Valakilyas are credited with writing the science of Parakaya Pravesha, that is, entering into one body from another body, and it teaches 32 kinds of yogas and 8-fold siddhis or superhuman capabilities like Anima, Mahima, Garima, Laghima, etc. Asva Shastra. Agnivarma has written exhaustively on the science of horses, their auspicious marks, their physiology, breeding, and training. Gaja Shastra. Similarly, Kumaraswamy has written extensively on Gaja Shastra, or about elephants. He has given 16 methods to test various marks on the bodies of elephants. Ratna Pariksha. Sage Vatsayana has composed a work on Ratna Pariksha, or testing of gems. His analysis shows 24 characteristics of gems or precious stones, natural and artificial ones. Their forms, weights are discussed and classified into categories. Mahendra Jala Shastra. Veerabahu, the lieutenant of Lord Subramanya, is the author of work on Mahendra Jala, or the science of magic. It teaches how illusions like walking on water, riding in the air are made. Shakti Tantra. Sage Agastya is the composer of Shakti Tantra, consisting of 8 chapters, in which Mula Prakriti, Maya, and 64 kinds of external Shaktis of bodies like the sun, moon, air, fire are explained. Their particular applications are also described. Saudamini Kala. Sage Matanga is credited with composing a science called Saudamini Kala, by which all phenomena could be attracted through shadows and even ideas. He also taught the science of photographing interiors of mountains and earth. Megha Shastra. Authorship of science which deals with clouds is attributed to sage Atri. This work deals with 12 kinds of clouds, their characteristics, 12 kinds of rains, 64 kinds of lightnings, 32 varieties of thunderbolts. Yantra Shastra. In a work of Yantras by Bharadwaja, he explains 339 types of vehicles useful for traveling on land, 783 kinds of boats and ships to be used on water, and 101 varieties of airships using the mantra, tantra, and artificial means. And those used by semi-divine beings like Gandharvas are also explained. Sthapata Vidya. It is a science of engineering knowledge dealing with construction and planning of civil works, architecture, vastu, town planning, and other engineering design and related subjects form part of this branch of knowledge. Ayurveda. Ayurveda, as the name suggests, is a science of life and health, including medicine and surgery. It is considered to be Upaveda of Rig Veda. Even in Atharva Veda, many mantras are about health. Brahma, the Ashwini Devatas, Dhanvantri, Indra, and Rishis like Bharadwaja, Atri, Agnivesha, and others have composed theories on the above subject. Subsequently, Charaka collected this knowledge in his book known as Charaka Samhita. Later, Shushruta followed him. Still later, Vagbharta composed a work on the subject. Besides medicine, surgery, and even injections appear to have been known to them. Ayurveda treats a whole man under 8 principal heads of treatments. Pharmacology, too, is included in this category. Dhanurveda. Dhanurveda is considered to be an Upaveda of Yajurveda. The authorship of Dhanurveda, or the science of archery, is attributed to sage Vishwamitra. This work, comprehending earlier works of Brahma and others, consists of 4 chapters dealing with Diksha, Sangraha, Siddhanta and Prayoga. Both the offensive and defensive modes are described. Missiles like chakra, sword and propelled forms of weapons form part of it. Brahmastra, Vaishnavastra, Pashupatastra, Agneyastra are some of the missiles described in this work. The deities to be invoked, the spells to be uttered, the description of weapons and mock warfare are all dealt with. Gandharva Veda. Gandharva Veda is considered to be an Upaveda of Samaveda. Gandharva Veda deals with the science of music and dance. It is said to have been composed by sage Bharata, comprehending earlier works of Nandikeshwara, Narada and Hanuman. Vocal and instrumental music and dances constitute this science. The objects of this science appear to be spiritual, that is, to rise in ecstasy in worship of God. Arthashastra. Arthashastra is considered to be an Upaveda of Atharva Veda. Sage Vyasa is believed to have composed a work on Arthashastra consisting of 3 chapters, in which he teaches 82 ways of earning money even while leading a righteous life. Under this head, there are Niti Shastra, Shilpa Shastra and 64 Kalas, and also other physical and metaphysical subjects. The famous Arthashastra texts are Kautilya's Arthashastra and Sukraniti. There are many ancient scientific texts which have been mentioned at other places. There are many ancient Indian manuscripts which are still lying undiscovered. There are many more manuscripts which are preserved in various libraries of the world. Knowledge of these texts is lying dormant and is yet to be made known to the world. There were many manuscripts of knowledge that were destroyed during foreign invasions on India for the past 1000 years.